Hello everyone and welcome to Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is officially about quadrilaterals. And quadrilaterals is just a, laterals, if you spell it right, is just a fancy way of saying a figure with four sides. Quad means four, and a quadrilateral is a four-sided figure. So you could have just a plain old quadrilateral, like that, which doesn't really have anything special about it except that it's got four sides and it's a quadrilateral. However, there are a couple of special quadrilaterals that you need to be aware of. The most important of which in this chapter is this one. This is called the parallelogram. Parallelogram. So you figure it's going to have something to do with parallel lines, right? Yeah. A parallelogram is a four-sided figure, so it's a type of quadrilateral, but each side, or each pair of opposite sides, are parallel. So this side over here is parallel to this side, and this top line is parallel to the bottom line. That's a parallelogram, and we will be learning a lot about parallelograms in this chapter. Okay, so there are a few other things that you need to be aware of, and I'm going to go in a slightly different order than what Fred does here. So the other thing that I want to teach you is what's called a kite. Kite. So named because it looks very much like a kite that you would fly. And what's interesting about this is that it has two sets of congruent sides. They're clearly not parallel because they equal each other, so it's not a parallelogram. But it is something fancier than just a regular plain old quadrilateral. It is a kite, and you might find kites to be very interesting. We'll do some proofs with them, so we'll see how you like them. All right, so now we have a couple of other things. So we know, for instance, that this is a square. And in order to be a square, you have to have all four sides congruent. But more than that, you also have to have these sides, or these angles, are right angles. So, all right angles. That's what makes a square. Rectangle is very similar. This is a rectangle. There's a rectangle, and rectangles have opposite sides congruent, so that is going to be that, but again, it is going to have the right angles. So the difference between the square and the rectangle is just how many sides are congruent. Here, all four sides have to be congruent, and here you can have groups of two, as long as it's opposite sides. Okay, another type of interesting form that you are going to learn is the rhombus. The rhombus, previously hereto known as the slanty square, rhombus, is like a square, so all four sides are congruent, but these angles up here are not 90 degrees. So, so we have congruent sides, but we do not have right angles at the corners. Okay, another one that we have here is the trapezoid. I like the trapezoid just because it's funny looking. So here's our trapezoid, and the way to draw a good trapezoid is first to draw one set of opposite sides which are parallel. The other sides are not parallel. If they were parallel, then it would be a parallelogram, but this is just a trapezoid. So we have one set of opposite sides parallel. not two sets of opposite sides. If we have two sets of opposite sides parallel, then we have a parallelogram. All right, another one that we have, actually the last one, is the Isosceles Trapezoids. So here we have our parallel sides. So we have I hate this word, here we go, Isosceles Trapezoid. So we have one set opposite sides parallel. But then in addition to that, these two sides over here, no matter how they're slanted, other sides are congruent. So this is going to be congruent to this. That is an isosceles trapezoid. So that is all the different shapes that you need to learn. And they're in your book on pages 195 and 196. And you should just take a moment and go ahead and put it in your notebook now, because you will for sure use them. You do need to have these rules here because that is what makes the official definition. So copy what they have there in Fred and you will be in good shape. All right, good luck.